Hello everyone, my name is Zayan Gimire and today I am going to be reciting a book called Who Was Dahl, written by True Kelly and illustrated by Stefan Marcheski. For context, I've also read dozens of Dahl books and I'm also a huge fan of him. So let's begin. Who was Dahl? In 1940, during World War II, Dahl was a fighter pilot in the British Royal Air Force. He had to fly a biplane to a secret airstrip in Africa, accompanied by a pilot in the second plane. Roald was nervous about finding the airstrip. It was hidden and it would be hard to spot. It was also very near to enemy lines. When they took off, it was already getting dark. Roald figured the airship was about 50 minutes away, but after an hour there was still no airship at sight, just empty desert, rocks and boulders. Roald circled the area desperately. Had he been given the wrong direction? He was low on gas. It was growing darker. He had to do an emergency landing. He had to take a chance. The plane crashed. Roald's nose was smashed. His skull was fractured and he was knocked out. The plane burst into flames. The pilot in the second plane managed to land safely and rescue Roald. It took a long time for Roald to get better. Did he go back home? No. He still wanted to be a fighter pilot. By the time World War II ended in 1945, he had shot down 5 enemy planes. His war adventures in far-off Africa made good stories. Roald started writing about them for magazines. Today, however, Dahl is not world famous for being a war hero or a magazine writer. Millions of people know him because of his amazing books he wrote for children. In a tiny hut near his house in the English countryside, he wrote such classics as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, the BFG, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. Dahl was imaginative and funny. He invented words like Boswango, Zip Swizzing, and Frogscottle, and creatures like the Oompa Loompas and Snozzwangers. He remembered what it was like to be a child, and he knew what children would like to read. Dahl is remembered as one of the greatest storytellers of our time. Chapter 1. Young Roald Dahl was born on September 13, 1916 in Wales. Wales borders England and is part of the Great Britain. His parents, Sophie and Harold, were from Norway. They named him Roald after a famous Norwegian explorer, Roald Amundsen, who reached the South Pole in 1911. Harold's job was to provide ships in Wales with coal and other supplies. He got quite rich doing it. As a young man, Harold had lost his arm in an accident. Much later, Roald thought it was amazing that his father could tie his shoes faster than him using only one hand, and Roald could do it too. Sophie was Harold's second wife. His first wife died very young. Sophie was smart and very well educated. Like Harold, she loved beautiful things. She and Harold had 3 daughters, Astrid, Arfield, and Else, and 1 son, Roald. Being the only boy, Roald's sisters called him the Apple. That was short for the apple of his mother's eye, which meant that Roald was her favorite. His mother was a great storyteller. She told the children stories about Norwegian monsters, trolls, and fairies. Roald certainly inherited a lot from her. When Roald was 2, his family moved into a mansion in a small village in Wales. They spoke English but also spoke Norwegian at home. The Dahls were a close, happy family. When Roald was about 3 years old, his life was shattered. His 7-year-old sister Astrid died of appendicitis. A few months later, his broken-hearted father also died. Sophie was left to care for her 3 children. She was also raising 2 stepchildren for Harold's first marriage. And on top of that, she was expecting another child. She had to manage the big house, grounds, servants, farmers, and gardeners. Roald's mother was practical and brave. After baby Asta was born, she moved the family to a smaller house in town. Roald later said that his mother was a rock, a real rock, always on your side whatever you had done. Thank you.